Okay.
Are we on? I'm in a food coma. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back once again for some football talk. Before we get started, I'd like to say Ramadan Kareem to everyone. He's probably seen my short message the other day, but to everyone that's celebrating, I hope it's been a good first couple of days. I think it's day 5 now, I think. I'm currently in a food coma, as you can see from my eyes. I did not smoke anything. All I did was had ftoor, right? That's all it is. I've had some ftoor. I'm here with my brother, Mr. Tanaka.
Hi, Russ.
You look good today.
Purple
on
good.
yellow, this and that, freshy, slicky, this, that. But yeah, man, we're here today. Before we get started, shout out to the absolute best Ramadan treats you can ever have. Nutella's Nud, right? If you don't know, now you know. I think
Sorry, Mems.
Yeah, Mems just had to miss out. Mems is probably spewing because he always wanted to try this, and I always tell him about it. Mr. Tanaka, this is Nutella's Nud, right? I'm just gonna let you grab one first. Food coma.
Oh my God, bro.
Show him. Give him that bite. Show him that bite. Yeah.
Can I grab a tissue, Memo?
Mr. Tanaka is currently
That's right.
in his wildest environments, about to grow in. Oh! Enjoy it.
It's a little bad.
Enjoy it.
Wow.
Right, enjoy.
Memo, you want? Oh, yeah, by the way, Mems isn't on, so we've brought in the OG, the person who knows what he's doing. Yeah, that was a jab.
The person who knows what he's doing.
No, I'm kidding, Mems. I'm
Nah, we
kidding.
love
When
you,
you're not
Mems.
here, I like taking cheap shots at you, but you know I love you.
It's the only way. When someone's like, you gotta talk shit about him, bro. Fun fact. I can have a whole dozen to myself.
Easily. bro.
Fun fact. I
can
know I'm
see how.
skinny, but they're too good, man. All right. Need to rinse it down with some Tamar Hindi Ramadan special. This is what we have Ramadan, but I've been drinking this all year. You know how it does. All right, bro, we're on. We are on. As you all know, we didn't have a lot of football this week. It was international round, or whatever you call them. What are Euro qualifiers? It doesn't tickle no one's fancy.
No, it does to the people who are from those countries.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But like for us, Australia's like not thing, so we don't really care. But we love watching the
Bro,
Prem.
my country hasn't played competitive football in God knows how long, bro. Straight out.
They're going to give more chances to it. The World Cup's expanding
We're
as well.
still not going to be there.
Still? What do they need to do to be there?
A lot.
A lot. All right, listen. So we had some news this week that Bayern Munich sacked their coach.
That one was a bit unexpected on my part.
That was like, whoa. How did that even? How do you get to that? So it's been a coach headline kind of week. With Conte leaving, was it this morning?
Yeah,
They
pretty
departed
much.
ways. We all seen that one coming. Nagelsmann getting out of Bayern and Tuchel going to Bayern replacing him. It's been a weird week, bro. We didn't expect Bayern to do that.
Nah, Bayern, I think that caught me a little bit left field. I think I thought Bayern had invested a lot of money into Nagelsmann to start off with, just to pinch him off Leipzig. So to see him get sacked was quite surprising. And now I'm hearing that he's open to the Spurs job. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Look, I think he's a good manager, man. I
Definitely.
think he's a really good manager. It's just,
Young too.
yeah, I think the expectation at Bayern, he wasn't meeting those standards. And
Yeah.
that's what happens, unfortunately, sometimes when you go to a club of that caliber and that status. You need to deliver in Bayern, like they said. If you've read what the directors said, if you've read what Oliver Kahn said as well, they were just saying, look, long term, we just thought our goals might be a little bit in jeopardy. And I think that has to go with, if you look up, I think Dortmund is sitting first in that league at the moment.
Dortmund and Hertha.
Yeah, so
There's a few teams that are fighting for that
that's
first
very
spot.
unlike Bayern, and it's not like the other squads have they improved drastically to the point whereby Bayern, they close Bayern's distance. It's more been Bayern has been dropping points, dropping results. So
Bayern signed what? Delete, Sadio Mane. Who else they signed? They signed a few players. Gravenberg, which you've never seen play. Sabitzer, who's at United right now. So you can obviously now it kind of makes sense when the CEO whatever went out there and said, "Oh, he's not meeting our results." And it's true, bro. They lost last week to that newly promoted team. I think Hertha. I don't know their name. I can't say their name properly. And Bayern's Dortmund, like you said, they're up there first, second, and it's very close on points. Bayern's literally losing because they're to themselves, really.
Yeah.
They're dropping their points. They're not meeting the standards of what they should be. And in other words, they're not keeping it a farmers league right now. It's a bit more competitive.
I think when you look at it, coaches get a bidding in process, and he's at his bidding in process. I think he's been there for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Nagelsmann, and I remember when he replaced the guy everyone was like, he's going to take this team to the next level. But Hansi left the team on such a high.
It's very hard to compete with that, bro.
It's hard to kind of then go say, well,
it doesn't make sense.
You know what I mean? So, look, I think Nagelsmann was shocking, but you can understand why they did that. I was thinking, does Tuchel do a Chelsea again? You know, I had Chelsea as a team that I look as a favourite. Not as a favourite, but as one of those teams that could have a dark horse run in the Champions League. And with what's just happened...
It's weird.
I think
it got harder.
Everyone's a little bit worried about what Bayern can do now because Tuchel... I don't know what people's opinions are on Tuchel. But whatever you think of Tuchel, he knows how to set up a team, man.
That's the most important thing,
and he's tactically astute. So I think like there might be a problem. And I know Mems, wherever he's sitting, City, the job just got harder.
Yeah, Mems. It might be another year, bro. But like you said, man, Tuchel is, for me, when he came to the Prem and he done what he done with Chelsea, he's tactically harder to break down. So it's very hard to score against the team that he sets up. And, bro, that Bayern Munich team is elite. Like, they got the best midfield, Goretzka, Kimmich, two absolute machine workhorse players, Muller. They got players like Mane, who hasn't been flying so far.
He's barely played for him.
He's barely played, but you obviously, once he gets that fine tune, you know Sadio Mane, what he's going to do.
Sadio
Mane. He's the best player in the world. But yeah, man. And then now they're saying Nagelsmann to Spurs, which I think if Spurs get him, that's a big, that's a good thing for them.
I'd say watch out. I'd say no one's brought this up, but watch Nagelsmann to PSG.
That could happen as well.
PSG, there's already murmurings they want to get rid of Conte. So,
but I don't know, man. PSG are funny. Like, I just feel like they're like City, bro. They have that curse on them where they're going to win the league, obviously, every year. They have the most powerful squad. But their Champions League is what they want to do. And they don't really get there. They always come up very, very short. You know, they went and got Messi, but they never built around Messi. Like, it's Messi, Mbappe, Neymar's injured. Who'd they bring in, bro? Carlos Soler and Vitinha, like players who are these players, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that was the director. That was them trying to go in a
Campos?
So it's got going in a new direction. So and you can't be too harsh about them, at them for that. And Messi was an opportunity. I don't think Messi, it fell into their laps more than they tried to get Messi, if that makes sense. Like,
that's right.
They always threw that idea out of what if we got Messi,
And they ended up getting
but it was always one of those things where people were like, you can't get Messi. And that was the case until Messi was crying in a press conference. Like,
yeah, bro.
I was saying, like, I can't believe Messi's actually leaving Barca. And we thought Messi was going to be a one-club man up until Barca did what they did with their books. So,
yeah, Barca's, I don't know, man. I hope Messi returns. But the man I want to talk about right now is Conte. Bro, listen, we've been yelling it out for about 4 or 5 weeks now. This is what Conte does, you know what I mean? That press conference he did after the game was like his opportunity. It was his Piers Morgan moment. It was his moment to just throw the screws out there. Obviously frustration, but at the same time, he's just like, he said what he had to say, and he knew like there's no coming back from this, bro.
No.
And like, if you're a Spurs fan, I think this is a good thing for you, because I don't think Conte was ever going to suit that club fully, bro. Like,
yeah, but that's why they gave him an 18-month contract. And with Conte, with that being said, man, like, I don't know.
He got paid out before he got he left.
I sit on the fence with it a little bit because the way I look at it, sacking Conte I feel like it's letting the players win.
Yeah.
Like, you're letting the players win. Like, the players, even though what Conte did cannot be accepted and you can't sit there and maybe slag players to that degree. I think you can.
Oh, yeah, we both definitely agree.
But the unwritten rule is you can't slag players to that degree. He slagged the board as well a little bit as well.
He went off at everyone.
You know, he went off at everyone, but I feel you're vindicating the players when you sack Conte.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna rock back into training today over there, which would be Monday. They're gonna back into training. It's all good. Conte's gone. Happy vibes. And if you're a Spurs fan and you see that team start to win and all of that, like I'd be a little bit frustrated.
Same with Villa, Gerrard.
Yeah, like I understand you manager bounce. Don't get me wrong. I get that. But in the same respect, man, like I don't know. Like with the Conte thing I said last week, like he's got to take some accountability about that. Like, look, Spurs don't have the best quality in every single position.
Of course.
But they have enough quality to do better than they've been doing.
They've spent money, bro.
Yeah.
It's not like they haven't spent money where they're sitting there like a team that has no money to spend. And
but that's where we say Conte's got to take accountability because the money that Conte did spend, those players they didn't use.
Of course.
Like, bro, I remember at the start of the season, I was talking to people saying, watch out for Jed Spence. I haven't seen the boy kick a ball.
He's on
if
loan.
I'm not mistaken, yeah.
He's on loan in the championship or something.
Yeah, he went on loan. Like, this guy was the best right back in the championship last season. What's his name?
Bright future as well for Jed Spence.
I'm going blank. What's the guy that came from Brighton?
Basuma hasn't played.
Right, Basuma in and out of the team. Richarlison in and out of the team. So, although we can say that they spent money, ultimately, like,
they never used
Conte
anything.
didn't use those things. So, he's taken pretty much the squad that took him to top 4 last year. And we all agree that top 4 last year, Spurs didn't get it because Spurs were good. They got it because Arsenal capitulated.
Literally.
Right? And that's why Spurs were playing Champions League football. So, it'll be interesting to see where Spurs go. I think if I was Harry Kane... Son, just get out of there, man.
Yeah.
Jump ship. Like
I've been saying it for a long time.
Part, you're not. You can be a part of that project, but I don't think you're a part of any project, if that makes sense.
But project is like, you look at his age. There's no project that matches that.
But what's the ambition? Like, I don't know what Spurs' goals at the start of the season are. Like, do they sit there and go, "We want to get top 4"? All right, if you get top 4, like realistically speaking, like yourself, myself, any fan of any team. If your team gets top 4 and goes into the Champions League every season, you want to believe that you can have a good cup run in the Champions League. And if things go your way, you could possibly win the thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's a very privileged position to sit here and say that because I've seen my team win a Champions League, you've seen your team win a Champions League, and so have other fans have seen their teams win Champions League. So it's a very privileged position to sit here and say.
Definitely. I'll say that right now as well.
If my team gets into the Champions League, I want to see them have a good run at it. But like one of my mates, Nuns, every time, because of the rules that we've put up and what I've been saying about Napoli beating Milan, it doesn't sit right with him because he's an AC fan. Because he believes he can beat
pride
Milan,
in
right?
there's
He believes that they can beat Napoli, right? I'm saying, look, I don't see it, but he believes it. And this is my point. The reason he believes it, because he knows if they get over Napoli, there's a good chance they could be playing in the final.
Yeah, bro. It's not that hard.
But that's my thing when I say, what are Spurs' ambition? Like, when you enter the Champions League, there's a point where you go, we're just in it to make numbers. And then there's a point when you go, we can push to this thing.
We want to win this thing.
Spurs, had they done things correctly, they'd be sitting right now in this top 8.
Literally.
Getting ready to play a game against Napoli.
Literally.
Like, that's how things should be. So, it's like, what's Spurs' ambition? What do they want to do? In terms of managers, who's going to be available in the summer? I always think bringing a manager in at the start of the summer, I think it's the right time, but it's also a hard time as well because...
It's fresh.
What do you do with recruitment?
Yeah. You got to get in. I believe they should get in before.
Yeah, exactly.
At least choose who they want and be like, listen, bro, you get the job and at least you can start working behind the scenes with what you want.
Look, at the start of this season, I was worried about United for the very same reason. We bought a manager and I knew who our manager was end of May. But the reason, maybe one of the reasons why our transfer window was so scattered and so all over the shop was because we maybe didn't have a good plan going into the transfer windows. I'm not saying that we ever have good plans about United transfer windows.
But it's different. When it's a new manager now, you expect to do things the right way. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And if a manager comes in, here's the thing, Spurs might have a scouting network that sat there and identified 5-6 players, and the new manager could come in and go, I don't want any single of those players that you just pointed out. So they got to go back and start doing their homework. Not only that, there's now competition because the transfer window is open. You got other clubs looking at the same players that you might potentially be interested in as well.
Bidding wars happening. It gets crazy, bro.
It'll be interesting, man.
I don't know. With Conte, I don't know. We all seen this coming. Just to wrap up that one quickly, it's pretty obvious. Nagelsmann was weird until we found out exactly what they want.
But that shows ambition. That's what.
Yeah, they have ambition, definitely. And you respect that, bro. And at the end of the day, no one's going to say, you sacked Nagelsmann. It's not like they got someone else. They got Thomas Tuchel, someone who's
they had a
wonderful.
plan. And this is what I mean. When you see a big club moving in big club manner or doing things with ambition, like
Yeah, I understand.
they had a plan that was mapped out already before any of us. Like they were saying that they were speaking to Tuchel since last Tuesday.
Yeah,
Like
they knew.
when did we find out the sacking? Like Friday, Saturday was. They went and made sure they had their contingency plan right. They identified who they wanted, why they wanted him, whether it works or not to be determined. But they knew what they were doing. Whereas I feel Spurs were kind of like
Winging.
I
They
don't
just wing
think
it.
they ever thought that they'd get to a point where they needed to sack Conte before
His time.
before the end of the season. This is why I sat here last week and I was saying I wouldn't sack Conte.
You'll make him stay there.
I was like, I'd make him stay. One, because he's gone anyway in the summer. All right, you might say we don't make Champions League, but if you do play in the Champions
point?
League, what's the point,
Yeah.
right?
Just to be there, make the money out of it. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Literally.
So I don't
Yeah.
know.
What we're going to do now is we're going to shift a bit differently because we had no football to talk about. So we spoke about exactly what just happened this week. We're going to do some Team of the Season awards, right? We're going to argue. We're going to have some different opinions. And this is probably going to continue to the end of the episode. But before we get started into the team, I want to go Premier League winners. Who do you think wins the Premier League? Okay, so that's Arsenal. He is such a hater. Nah, I respect that. I respect it. Graham Souness vibes. I personally think Arsenal win the league, and I think they'll win it comfortably. Top four,
And
I'm going to go...
Before you go on, the only reason why that team it is, people who support City will sit here and say that they've got games in hand, but I'm telling you, points on the board are more important than games in hand. Because that means
Definitely.
you've won those points.
You've cemented them. You're there.
Yeah, you're there. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
So be excited, Arsenal fans, because Tanaka just admitted it, and that means you're going to win the league. Top four, I'm going to go Arsenal, City, United. This is such a hard one. And I think Newcastle, bro.
Really?
I don't see Liverpool anymore. I don't see my team, like, I don't know, like, the last couple games that we played
There's got
after...
nothing else to play for.
Yeah, who?
You guys, you've got nothing else to play
Well,
for.
that's the thing, because, like, you say that, but there's just, I don't know, I don't feel like there's any more ambition in that team anymore. Like, against Bournemouth, like, we just beat United 7-0, right? Everyone knows right after that happens, you should back it up. At least get a 1-0,
Yeah.
2-1, at least, even if you draw, like, we get it. Because we had a lot of chances, whatever. But I just don't see that anymore. Maybe this international break was a good thing. I don't know. World Cup was a good thing, apparently. I don't know. I think we need a big refresh, of course. And I think Newcastle now, they're back to winning ways. I think they're getting used to winning again because they went on a bad spell where 5-6 games they were drawing and whatnot. But yeah, I think Newcastle will cement it, bro. Even Brighton are a good shout, man. They're like 3 games in hand, 2 games in hand or something.
They'll leap into that top
Even
four.
Spurs, man. I don't know. Maybe the Spurs start winning. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's your top 4?
Top
The
4.
first
I
3
think-
cemented?
Depends. I think it depends how we go. The first 4 games after our international break, we got Newcastle, and if we can get a dub over Newcastle, I say we're cemented in there.
Yeah.
Because I don't see Spurs as a threat for top 4. The 4th spot's contentious. I think it's gonna be a 4-horse race for one spot. So,
Yeah.
like you just said, the same thing. In terms of who comes out first on top, I think probably I might say I still think Liverpool can get it done. I've seen that before. Like when you
I
guys
hope you're
have
right,
had-
bro.
I've seen that before when you guys have had like
It just won't feel
wretched
right.
seasons.
It just won't feel right to not see us in the Champions League. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just feel weird about that one. Coach of the year. People are gonna say Arteta, and rightly so. He's going on, might win the league very, very soon. But I'm gonna go with my favourite, bro, De Zerbi.
Zerbi?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Robert De Zerbi. I think is his name Robert. I don't know, Robert.
Yeah, it's Roberto.
Roberto. I think the way he's taken that Brighton job, lost all them players. What, they sacked Potter mid-season? Well, not mid-season, but a few games in, or was it before the season started?
Yeah, he left a couple of games.
Couple
I think.
games in,
Yeah.
and he had to just come in there and I'm not saying it because he's keeping them up, but I'm saying it because, bro, the way he plays football, the way he's lost players, like he had the Trossard situation, dealt with it very, very quickly. He said, all right, bro, like, you know, you have to, like, you want to play or not? You don't, okay, sweet, go to Arsenal, you know, move on, it's fine. We got Matoma, we got other players. So I think for me, he's one of the best, and you know, he's one of my favourite, bro. I love watching his football.
Look, from a personal perspective, I think my coach is my coach of the season.
Yeah,
But
that's a fair shout.
But from a voting perspective, I think you got to give it to Arteta because the same reasons why I think Ten Hag is my coach of the seasons. Is the same reason why you got to give it to Arteta.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense.
You take the team at the end of the day. Ultimately, like it's very easy to give to Pep, and even if Pep wins the league and City win the league, I don't think Pep deserves it.
No way.
But I think Arteta still needs to be acknowledged for the job and what he's done at Arsenal. Like, man, that guy went from Arteta out to
Real quick.
We're back at Arteta.
He's like a superpower now.
You know what I mean? So I think the turnaround is immense. Like, I think Ten Hag's done a tremendous job, and I didn't expect us to see us where we are in such a short time. And I know you can throw the argument back of Arteta's been at Arsenal for 3 years, but in the same respect, this is a team I just said capitulated for top 4 last season, and they're pushing arguably the best team of the last 5 to 10 years in the league to the end. So I don't think you can overlook Arteta for coach of the season. I respect what De Zerbi's done. I acknowledge what Ten Hag's done. And from a personal standpoint, Ten Hag is my coach of the season, but I think the award has to go to Arteta. Win or lose the league, like to take the team to where it's been.
It's different levels,
Yeah,
bro.
I think Arteta is probably going to be the shout.
You know what's funny? This season's been crazy with managers. Because, like, you've had Thomas Frank, you've had, like, Newcastle, Eddie Howe. Like, these are managers that are a good shout to be coach of the season, but you have to go with Arteta. I agree with that as well. Let's get straight into it. Our team of the season for 2023, 2024 season, so far, right? In goals, right? Nick Pope, Alisson Becker. I'm going to give you the options and we can choose together. Nick Pope, Alisson Becker, Aaron Ramsdale, and David Raya. I just threw David Raya in because I like how he's a good guy. He's a good goalkeeper. Who do you go with, bro? We have to pick this together.
I think give it to Popey.
Yeah, I'd say Pope, and behind Pope, I'd say Ramsdale or Alisson.
And then Alisson comes third.
Yeah, I just think Alisson's conceded too much this year, and it's not even his fault. It's just a lot of things that he's saved us from a lot of things. That's why he's in the list. Anyway, regardless.
But ultimately, like, keepers are judged on goals and clean sheets.
Definitely.
And, I think that one you give it to Nick Pope.
Yeah. All right, Nick Pope's in goal. Right back, Kyle Walker, Ben White, Livramento, and Kieran Trippier.
Either Trips or Ben White.
Oof. Yeah, you know what? Trippier. I think Trippier's been. I think Trippier's, bro. He's playing in a Newcastle team. He's like a leader. He's scoring goals. He's assisting.
Yeah.
He's been up there with the best. This is gonna be a fun one.
This one's easy for me.
I'm gonna take.
This one's easy for me. You're gonna be surprised. This one's easy for me.
All right, listen. Centre backs. We got Saliba.
Yep.
So this is the list. Saliba.
Yep.
Botman.
Yep.
Varane.
Yep.
Martinez.
Yep.
Gabriel.
Yep.
Lewis Dunk. Thiago Silva and Virgil van Dijk.
Okay, I'll start by this. I'm going to rule 3 people out straight away.
Van Dijk.
Okay, Van Dijk's out. Varane and Martinez have to go out as well.
Why?
Okay, I'll tell you this now.
Well,
if we're going to make a team of the season and we're
you got to
gonna
pick 2 as well, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying these are the people taken out. If we're going to make a team of the season and you have to look at it objectively, look, I understand backing your boys and being 100% with the boys. I think my boys are good players and I wouldn't swap them for anyone else. But that doesn't change the fact that they conceded 4 goals at Brentford. Doesn't change the fact that they've been part of a 6-3 spanking at the Etihad. They conceded 7 against Liverpool. So
that's my same because I wanted to put Martinez in there.
You know, so although I think they're good players and I wouldn't swap them around, when we're doing a team of the season, like I can't defend or justify or I don't feel right in myself. Like I'm a hater, don't get me wrong, but I can be rational. I can be rational when I have to be.
Definitely.
And I think for that reason you can't have Varane and Martinez in there. They've played well, and I think they're our first choice centre backs. And in any other season even if the Liverpool result hadn't happened, I'd probably sit here and try to push that more. But ultimately, like you conceded 7 goals in the game, I can't put you as a top centre back in the league.
Definitely, I agree with that.
I think for team of the season, Newcastle's going to dominate a lot of the back line. So for my first centre back shout will be Botman.
Yeah, I'd say Botman too, and I'd say Saliba.
Yep, I'm happy
because I think Saliba's. I think when Saliba at the start of the season, I was hearing Virgil van Dijk comparisons.
He's not at that level. Don't get me wrong.
He's not at that level, definitely. But the way he plays, I think
he's very calm.
This is not an Arsenal. I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I hate how they carry on with things. But the way he does play, he's very calm. Like you said, Van Dijk has that to him. He gets into tackles. He wins the ball. He's a leader, and he has scored some.
Yeah.
I think he scored 1 or 2 goals this season.
And look, don't look at it like I know there's a game. Who was it against? Who had him up? Who had him on toast
Tony.
the other week?
Ivan Tony.
Ivan Tony had him on toast,
strings.
and someone else that has had him on toast this season.
Billing.
Don't look at it like someone's had him on toast, therefore he's not a good quality centre back. Players make mistakes, and
normal.
part of their growth and part of becoming good players is making those mistakes. So when you look at someone like Saliba, he still did come from the French league last season. Was out on loan. Let's not forget that, and he's in a team that could potentially win the league. So I think Saliba's got to be in there. Botman, I said Newcastle would have to dominate a lot of the defensive awards, and I think you're going to struggle to see any more Newcastle players jump into this list after this, but I think Botman and Saliba are probably the best to go with.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, bro. I think Botman's been unbelievable. Newcastle have kept... Defensively, they've been very, very good. I think they didn't concede for so long.
They're just struggling to score goals, man.
And that's
their
fine
downfall at the
because
moment.
they had a striker on the bench, injuries and whatnot, so I agree with that. So we had... in our centre-backs, we've had Saliba, which we both agree on, and we've had Sven Botman from Newcastle. Good pairing, to be honest with you. Let's move over to the left-back position. I'm going to read these options, and you're going to tell me what you think. Rico Henry, Zinchenko, Estupinian from Brighton, Andrew Robertson, and Luke Shaw.
Lukey, I'd love to put you in, but for the same reason,
Yeah.
the boys. I'm sorry, I can't do
Wow, this is crazy.
that. Bro, look, Luke Shaw, I think has actually been the best left back in the league this season.
I think he's been the best defender for United.
No, Martinez.
No, in the back line, Luke Shaw's been unbelievable in the
I
back
know he's
line.
been unbelievable.
I'm
but
not
he's
just
only
defense.
I know.
I'm saying everything.
But he's got that platform because of what Martinez allows him to do.
That's
right?
very true. Okay, I
and
agree with
that's why when he played
And I
next
hate
to
Luke Shaw.
I
I'm
know,
a big-
but when he played next to Harry Maguire, he couldn't move forward
No
because he didn't
chance.
have someone he trusted in one-on-one duels.
No chance.
Luke Shaw and his versatility, I'd love to put him there. But again, you're a defender. You can't leak goals, man. I'm sorry. I can't put you in there. Pains me and hurts me.
He was horrendous in that 7-0. He was shocking.
Yeah, exactly.
And even last year at Anfield and at Old Trafford against Liverpool,
Yeah.
he was like one of the worst players you
And that's
watch.
the thing, when you drop performances like that, that's what stays in, like people criticize and we're critics sometimes too far an extent, but for me, that's why I can't put in United players in that back line. It's just they've considered too many goals. Like, bro, go look at our GD. I think it's like 6 goals. We're sitting in third,
Yeah,
bro.
sitting third.
And then the team behind us like 23, and then above us like 40 and 45.
City and
like,
Arsenal killing it, bro.
Come on, man. Like, that's disgusting. But for left back, I think Zinchenko's got to get this one.
I agree with you, man, but at the same time, I don't, because I really...
Stupian's been good.
Stupinian has been unbelievable this year, and he's a big part of why Brighton...
Rico's been gone too.
Rico's
don't get
been
me
gone.
wrong.
But I just can't pick... But Robertson's always class, as always, but obviously this season...
Zinchenko, when we're doing a team of the season, who's been the best team? This has been the best team. Therefore, they're going to get a lot more of their players in.
Yeah, I agree with
They're
that.
not. Like,
You've convinced me.
It's...
And as much as I hate Luke Shaw, I really think he deserves to be in the nominee. I think he deserves to be spoken about as one of the best in the league, because he's been like for the criticism he received last year, and I was the loudest one.
Bro,
He's turned it around this year, like a lot of United players in that squad. So, but yeah, we have to go with Zinchenko. I think going forward, he's been unbelievable. No one really talks about that. He's playing as a midfielder, really. And in defence, he checks back. He does what he has to do. You never see like a goal come from his side. You never see like a massive Trent Alexander-Arnold moment.
And the way he just overloads the middle of the park, bro, and his technical ability, like it's a key.
He's a leader. You can say he's a leader.
It's a key aspect to why Arsenal are doing what they're doing. They're winning combinations and duels in the midfield because they're overloading those spaces and areas because they've got someone who can drop in and so technically good on the ball. So
he's good decision. He's
got
got
I think Zinchenko's got to go in.
All right, let's move over to... it's going to be a bit controversial. There's a lot of guns in this position. We're playing 4-3-3, obviously. The CDM, the holding midfielder, the defensive midfielder. I'm going to read the list to you. First of all is Norgard from Brentford, I believe. Joao Polina, Casemiro, Rodri, Caicedo, and Thomas Partey.
Cass can't be in.
Yeah.
Red cards?
Yeah.
They've let him out. I'm sorry.
Look, listen to me. If Casemiro was there from the beginning of the season,
because he missed the first 4 games.
I won't even let you say that.
Yeah.
Because red cards happen. There's controversial shit that happens. I don't really care about that. I care about the effect and the impact a player has on the team.
Trust me. I'm fucking spewing right now.
Yeah, he'll spew right now. So Casemiro can't be there for me. João Palhinha has been the best out of most of them in defensive duties.
Thomas Partey, the only reason I wouldn't put him in there is this is a controversial one. He's been injured too much.
Has he this season?
Yeah, he's been injured
twice.
He's missed a couple of games.
Wow, that's a big call.
That's a big call. An Arsenal fans can come in, but I've given you enough players. One. Yeah, I think Partey's had a couple of injuries here and there. I think Palhinha's just. I want to go with an unorthodox pick here, man. I think when you look at the way Palhinha plays, Rodri's Rodri. Rodri can easily. We can put Rodri at the start of the season.
Yeah.
I'm not really.
Yeah, Rodri's season, I don't think it's City really.
Yeah, I want to go with someone.
Caicedo?
I want to go with someone who from one of the lower teams because I think being a CDM in a team that holds a lot of ball possession, retains the ball, and recycles the ball, I think it's a much easier job.
Of course,
you just got to be nice and really technically sound on the ball and distribute the ball.
We can say Fabinho right now, but with what's happening to him,
and dictate the pace. I think when it comes to CDM, I want to pick someone like Palhinha because he plays in a team that's not traditionally a possession-based team. So I want to put him in because he's kind of the odd pick. You know
I really
like
that. For me, it's between him and Caicedo. Partey's been unbelievable, but like you said, injuries, and you had to remind me because I forgot he was injured that much in the season. Casemiro, obviously, he didn't come from the start. Rodri's Rodri. I don't think he's been the best this season,
but he's been good.
He hasn't been standout. Yeah, but he's been good. It's Rodri. It's either Palhinha or Caicedo. Who do you go with?
I'm going Palhinha, man.
All right, I'm going to go Palhinha. I would have been Caicedo, but he got a pay rise, so he's earning his dollars now, you know what I mean? All right, let's go to the centre midfielders. We've got 2 centre midfielders to pick from. This is the list.
Yeah.
First things first, McAllister, Gibbs White, Kevin De Bruyne, Tyler Adams from Leeds, Bruno Guimaraes, Granit Xhaka, Bruno Fernandes, and Ødegaard. First things first, Ødegaard goes in there for me straight away.
Okay, there's someone I want to take out of that list straight away. Go down it again.
Okay, let's go. McAllister, De Bruyne, Gibbs White.
got to go.
De Bruyne's got to go.
Yeah.
Okay, De Bruyne, you got to go.
He's got to go.
Right, De Bruyne,
controversial.
You got to leave.
Nah,
give him the wave, please. Give him the
De
wave.
Bruyne can't be in the team of the season this year. There's so many times we sat here and spoke about stinkers he's dropped. De Bruyne can't be there.
I'm not a professional. I just made this list off the top of my head.
Yep.
And I watch a lot of football, but the names don't really process. So
Yep.
if there's anything we missed, let us know. First pick for me is Ødegaard.
Yep,
I think it's very hard to talk anything bad about Ødegaard this season.
That's a non-debatable that one.
The only thing I can say about Ødegaard is shoot the ball. He gets in spaces sometimes where he gets very complacent, but man, he's still young.
Yeah.
He's in a team that he is the captain. He's leading them out.
Team, man, yeah.
I would say Xhaka because of how much he's turned it around, but I think there's more quality in this list than...
I think for me, this is when I start making a case and argument with some of my boys, bro. I think Bruno Fernandes has been unbelievable for us this season.
Okay.
I think his numbers and his stats don't do him justice. He's not Bruno first season Bruno, but Bruno's been unbelievable. I think Bruno Guimaraes again he's missed a couple of games in between as well. Not a lot or not to the extent of Partey, but that's another thing I'm looking at. Bro, Bruno's never had an injury that I can remember.
Literally.
Fernandes.
It reminds me of Salah.
Bro, the guy's always fit. Bro, the guy's played the most minutes in the top in Europe out of any player. I'm not even taking the piss, bro.
No, but I believe
he's
that.
Just playing game after game after game. 90 minutes. And I go, bro, when do you stop? And he runs and runs and runs. So for me, you can argue this one, but I'm putting Bruno Fernandes in there, bro.
That's a fair shout. I think Tyler Adams, I want to give some credit to these midfielders because it is one of the hardest positions and it's a position that my team lacks at the moment. I think Bruno Guimaraes has been so important to Newcastle.
100%.
Like, so important.
And any of us would take him in our team.
Bro, I would pay the 70, 80, 100 million right now for him. He's that player.
Yeah.
Because he's very composed, he's calm. And there's another Brazilian midfielder that plays in arguably a better team, like on quality-wise.
Yeah.
Lucas Paqueta.
Yeah.
Same position. Paquet's, yeah. He's come into West Ham, made no impact.
Yeah.
Made no difference. I don't know what it is to blame, but that's why I give Bruno even more credit. Because he's playing with a lot of bums, bro. A lot of that Newcastle team aren't. That's why I say when Newcastle starts spending money, it's a problem.
So I don't want him to get Champions League this year.
100%. De Bruyne is out of the list.
Yeah.
De Bruyne is out of the list. He's been a fraud this year. Could never be the best Premier League midfielder of all time, and he's one of my favourites. Gibbs White, bro, to play in a Forest team like that, and Bro, I love watching him play. I think he's a gun. I think his missus is a gun. I'm fasting. Tyler Adams for Leeds.
It's been good.
I wish I had him in my team, Liverpool.
But he's the best of him's come out since McKennie's come into that team as well. So
I think even before, but you're right. McKennie's more of
really
that
elevated
comfort.
because they play together. So
They understand each other.
Yeah.
Xhaka, nah. Bruno Guimaraes injuries. McAllister's a good shout.
McAllister's a very good shout.
McAllister,
I think you want to put McAllister in.
I think we should put McAllister.
Fuck you. Can we do that little slash on this one?
Oh,
Fernandes/McAllister.
all right, fuck
And leave it to the comments.
Because I don't like Bruno,
Yeah.
but I don't like being a hater. You know what I mean? Like I like to speak the facts. Bruno's been unbelievable this season. So it is McAllister, it is Bruno Fernandes. Slash them, pick what you want.
They might not even agree with this midfield.
Nah, no way.
No one's gonna put the
Bro.
Partey. What's wrong with you?
Random Arsenal fans gonna be like, let's start a podcast together. Left wing position for me, it's pretty much easy. But let's just talk about let's just talk about everyone in this position.
Yeah.
I think Jack Grealish has been good this season.
Very good.
Very, very good. I know there's no numbers and stats to back that up, but
Yeah.
he's been good, bro. Like you gotta give. I hate people that watch football and tell me stats.
Yeah.
Tell me stats. Like people tell me, Rashford and Salah have the equal GA this season. But let's be honest. Like I say it to even my mates, let's be honest. Like Salah hasn't been that bad, but compared to his standard and to the eye, he hasn't been unbelievable. Rashford has been.
But I think you know what it is. It's just Rashford's GAs are winning games, whereas Salah's aren't. That's
You can say that, yeah.
that's
but
probably where it is as well.
That's
You know,
true.
like Salah's
there's been more impact.
contribution isn't changing the result.
The result. Definitely. I agree with that. It's 100%.
That's probably where it comes down to.
That's
like
facts.
Rashford scoring like goals in the 80th minute and the game finishes 1-0.
Yeah.
You
He
know
decides
what I mean?
games.
He's deciding games, so that's probably where the difference.
Only took him about 5 years. I had to throw my shade in. We got Rashford. We got Trossard. Unbelievable this season, bro. I think he scored a hat-trick at Anfield this season.
Did he?
For Brighton, yeah. I think he did, yeah. Yeah, he did at the start of the season. Martinelli, Grealish, and Gnonto. I don't know how to say his name. Nonto.
I think that's
He's
how you
been
say it.
unbelievable
Yeah.
from Leeds. Easy pick for me, Rashford.
I mean, Rashi gets
He's been, bro, phenomenal this season. And you won't hear me talk about a United player this much. Even Jurgen Klopp like praised him. He said, like, you know, even if he's a United player, I think he deserves a lot of the credit he gets. Because just for the mental and the way he's been able to turn it around. But next year's going to be massive for him.
He has
bro.
to back it up, man.
Next year, this is where it gets hard. This is when
You know
Salah
what it
scored
is?
that.
I know, but I think you know what it is. I think Rashi needs his manager a lot more than we probably
Definitely.
given credit. And I think we noticed that probably in the last 2 years. Like, Ole just played with him and he didn't take care of him, if that makes sense. It was like, Rashi, you're my best player. But Ole didn't make sure he's best player. Like, he didn't take his car to service. He didn't make sure his car...
He didn't make him feel good.
You know, like, no, he probably made him feel good. But I mean, like, Rashi was playing through injuries and he was niggling pains and this, that. And Rashi would just play. Like, I think there was a period where Rashi would literally play, not train, get injected, play...
Yeah.
Not train.
Yeah, I remember last season it was injured,
get injected, play. And it's like, bro, there's certain times when you're doing that with the player, you kind of just got to go, bruv, just go chill.
Relax for a
Go
bit.
chill.
We have to work
Fix
out
your stuff.
with whatever we have.
Yeah, fix what's going on. And then when you're ready, come back. So, yeah, like I think Rashi, I think left wing's uncontested.
I think he'll definitely, easily, he'll be the first person you pick in this team.
Let's do right wing because...
right wing. All right, let's go.
I think Saka's got to get this.
Yeah. We had to ruin it, huh? I have some good shouts, bro.
Yeah, I know,
Because
I
people
know.
don't watch football like us, bro. Kulusevski. It's just the name you got to put there. Olise from Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
Mo
bro.
Salah. Mahrez. Almiron.
Mahrez, I'm sorry. Mahrez had like a 6-week good run this season.
Can you listen to me?
I'm sorry.
Listen to me. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you. I'm
Yeah.
agreeing with you, but I'm going to say it louder and better than you.
Yeah.
Right? When Mahrez had that dominated that couple, whatever he did this year,
During
4 or 5
Christmas,
games.
post-Christmas, whatever it
Bang
was.
goals, this, that.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, he's the best player in the world. Right? I was hearing, he's the best player in the world right now. I said, cuz. Marcus Rashford. Saka. Odegaard.
Yeah.
Kvaratskhelia. Osimhen. What do you mean best player? Like, calm down, bro. And I like Mahrez. I think he's a absolute gun,
Mahrez
bro.
is a good player.
He's a gun, but you just never see it because maybe it's a Man City thing. Maybe it's Pep. I don't know what it is, man. But yeah, Saka, Almiron, Mahrez, Salah, Olise, Solly March, and Kulusevski.
Again, Solly March is only kind of lit up since
After Trossard
since
kinda
Trossard's
left.
gone. Olise, that Palace team was struggling to score goals.
But
So as good as he
I
is,
feel bad for them, man.
I know, as good as Olise is, bros, I can't put you in the team of the season as an attacker if your team you weren't
You have to score
creating
goals.
goals or scoring goals. I'm sorry, come on.
I think the
Salah,
last goal was against Hughes
yeah,
or something.
yeah, it was
'cause
like almost December or early Jan.
that was last year.
Yeah. So yeah, Olise, as good as he is and is funky to watch, like I can't put him in for
Big
that
drip.
reason. Who else? Who else is there?
We had Mahrez, Salah. Salah obviously hasn't been the best this year. Solimac, Kulusevski, Olise, Almiron, Mahrez. Straight off the start of the season, I would have said Almiron.
Amron sold off as well.
He's tailed off like we expected that. So
Yeah.
I think he goes to Saka.
Saka,
Bro, for
unbelievable.
me, like it's him and Rashford that have been the best this season. And if he wins it, I get it. And I think he deserves it more than Rashford because he's been consistent from the beginning of the
yeah,
season.
of course.
So Bukayo Saka has been unbelievable. Even his England form, bro. Scoring goals in the World Cup. He won that penalty against France. He was the most lively looking thing in that French.
Who the Southgate hook? Saka.
Sick, silly people. I don't know when England, you're never going to win a World Cup because of this, but we agree on Saka.
Yeah.
We go with Saka.
Yeah.
Unbelievable player this season. And this is the last position of the game.
Gabriel Jesus.
The most exquisite position on the field, the most expensive position on the field, the one that is most important for a lot of teams, the striker position. Start off the list with Mitrovic, Ivan Toney, Harry Kane, Gabriel Jesus, Darwin Núñez, and Erling Haaland. Now we all know the answer.
Yeah, but out of all of them, the only person that could have half a shout is Harry Kane.
Yeah, that's what I was
Half
going
a
to say.
shout to contest Erling Haaland because you look at the resources Harry Kane is working with, you look at the type of football Harry Kane's had to play in, and to not be that far off Haaland's Premier League goals this season is quite remarkable.
Crazy, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, and what you've got to recognize about Haaland is for all of Haaland's goals as good as they've been and how many goals he's scored his goals in batches. Like, he'll come score a hat-trick here.
Yeah, 4 goals, 3 goals.
Like, he scored them in batches and then he might have like a little lull and then bang, 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 bang. So, yeah, Haaland gets it. I think Harry Kane's got to get a big shout out, man. I think I seriously rate Kane. I'd never take him on my team.
I love him.
And that's only because of his age. But if you gave me
You
Harry
better be
Kane-
ready. He's coming to your team.
Bro, you gave me Harry Kane like 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
2 years ago.
Yeah, 5.
Come on, bro.
Because I'd want to sell him.
Last year.
I don't want to sell him.
You have to make the money
I'm a
back.
businessman.
But no, listen. Gabriel Jesus has been unbelievable this season. Unfortunately, he got that injury.
Yeah.
So
Too
we
much of
haven't
the
seen-
season out. Yeah.
We haven't seen anything from him.
Mitrovic, as good as he's been, that brain snap, can't have that, mate.
Nah, but even before that, bro, he stopped scoring goals. Like,
Yeah.
And like it's Fulham, I get it, but that Solomon was coming on and scoring goals, so there is no reason why
Exactly.
he shouldn't be scoring. Tony has been so good, but he's a gambler, and we can't.
I mean, you're one of the boys,
You're one of the boys,
Yeah.
cuz. You don't
But
get that. You got to involve on the couch, you know what I mean? Someone I want to talk about, bro, before Haaland is Darwin Núñez. Obviously, Harry Kane's been phenomenal. Darwin Núñez, for me, he's been my limelight. He's been someone I look forward to watching.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what he's going to do. And the way he's turned
Good
it
or
around has been gone.
Yeah.
But obviously, it goes to Erling Haaland. Listen, bro, if you don't pick Haaland, even as a player of the season, there's something wrong with you. Like, he has to be up there in the conversation. Even if you don't pick him, he has to be there in the conversation.
And-
Because to come and score goals like that, it's not easy, bro.
Exactly.
It's a scary sight. And guess what? Pep hasn't even figured him out all the way yet. So imagine when he does. You know what I mean? Which gets a bit silly. But yeah, that's our team of the season. We'll pop it up right there for you to have a look at it. If you don't agree with it, just run through the brick wall and give it a nice headbutt because we just, don't care. Comment what you think.
There's a couple of ones we're going to get put up.
Oh,
for
we're gonna
sure.
get. Oh, definitely.
For sure.
Definitely.
Hey, and to Arsenal fans, I gave you a lot of credit today with the players I gave you. How many did I give them there? 3?
I think so. I don't even know. I have to look back at it. But
Saka,
Saka, Odegaard,
Odegaard,
and Zinchenko,
Saliba.
and Saliba. 4.
Oh, 4.
That's
yeah.
4. That's fair.
I put Zinchenko over Luke Shaw.
That's
That pains me, lad.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. That's another episode of APO Football Talks, really. I hope everyone has a good Ramadan. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share it around. And if there's anything you want us to talk about, let us know. I'm Sui. This is Tanaka. We love you.
Thanks, guys.
I'm going to get Iman Natella's note. Peace.